It is time once again for the weekly and monthly closes of our favorite Bitcoin miners. Let's get right into these charts and see where they are sitting today. We're going to start with CleanSpark as is tradition. Yesterday we were down 4.83%. This week we were down 9.45%, coming off of 2 weeks in a row being down. We were down over 10% in the last 2 weeks. We're coming down on the bottom here, but we're doing a bit of a doji down here. We're doing a bit of a doji down here. I like that. I don't hate that. The fact that it got bought up at 970 is nice. I like that, especially with Bitcoin holding over $100,000, and we've got earnings for CleanSpark coming up on Thursday, February 6th, if they come out profitable. And it really seems like there's a good chance they could come out profitable, considering that Bitcoin spent the majority of the month over $90,000, and we know for a fact that they are mining Bitcoin for less than that. We can come to the conclusion that they're probably going to come out being profitable this time. And if they come out being profitable, I think that back to a road back to $15 very soon is actually on the table here, and we may see some of that price to book and price to sales that I showed in my last video coming back to more reasonable levels if they can show that they are profitable in this bull run. Remember, and this is the most important thing, we're in the last year of this run. Okay, we are in the last year of this run. Next year is the reset. If CleanSpark does not get back up above $18 into the 20, 30 higher and higher here this year, then you're going to be waiting another 4 years to see that happen. And in fact, in between, we may see it come as low as this, $5, $4, $3 in the meantime, waiting for that in 2028. So this is the year, and it's got to happen. It's got to happen this year, or it's not happening at all. Okay, keep that in mind. So right now, we are on the lows. We're on the low lows right now. I mean, we almost took out the previous lows from September. All right, that sucks. We really need to see a move up to $15, cross above 15, and hold it. If it cannot hold the move, this thing is basically done. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Please always do your own research and come to your own conclusions before placing your money in anything. So for right now, what am I looking at that's concerning? All right, so a couple of things. MACD is underneath and it has crossed down and it is negative. Like, we really want to see this MACD line and the signal line get back above the zero line. Okay, it hasn't been up above the zero line. Oof, man, it hasn't been up above the zero line since, well, both of them since September of last year, and the MACD line itself since August of last year has not been above. That's the zero line. So we really want to see it be above the zero line. We're also seeing the MACD below the signal line, which is also bad. We've also got on the BX trender here, we are in negative territory, and it's kind of just piddling around. Okay, all same with the stochastics. The stochastics on the weekly haven't been looking good, positive since December. So December was really a awful robbery month for us in the crypto space. December was pretty just terrible. Right now, we need to get above the 200-week moving average, which is currently sitting at $11.51. We also need to get above the 50-week moving average at $12.02. Until we are up above those things, this right here is looking like a bear flag that could send us all the way back down to $7.91, or if things get really bad on Bitcoin, all the way back down to support around $5. CleanSpark could go down to $5. Now, it's not going to necessarily. I mean, it might, but it's not going to if Bitcoin doesn't crash. But if we look at this flag here, yeah, that goes all the way down to $4.59. Okay, $4, well, lower than $4.59, I think, actually. Yeah, it was down here, like 450s, right? We could go down to 450 off of this bear flag that we're looking at right now. That is possible. Okay, unless price comes back up and above the 50-week moving average, and pretty soon this could end up being a bear flag. If Bitcoin goes down to $70,000, yes, CleanSpark will go under $10. CleanSpark may even go down as low as $5. Okay, that means that the warrants are going to be traveling back down to like 30 cents or something in that situation. Okay, so keep that in mind. We also got a monthly close here this week, and that is, whew, look at how gross that is. Look at those wicks on top. You can just see how badly CleanSpark has been diluting us over and over and over again. We are still positive on the monthly though on the BX trender there, we did get a red dot this month. That is bad. I really want to see these stochastics here turn yellow. I want to see this green get up and above the 20 line down there. And until then, yeah, we're just going to be suffering here. We are just absolutely getting smashed beneath $15. Shorts are destroying us. CleanSpark's dilution has destroyed us. We really need to see the fact that they're switching over to convertible notes that are not convertible until the next cycle, and the shorts really just pull themselves out of this trade. And the only way they're going to do that is if Bitcoin really shows that it's got strength to stay where it is and go higher. Until then, yeah, we're just getting absolutely hammered and absolutely pigeonholed right into this space where we currently are, and it sucks. That's a 2-month candle. Let's go to the 1 month. Oh no, the 1 month is worse. We got to cross down on the MACD, but on the BX trender there, we are getting close to a point where I might say we might see this line turn green. That would be nice. Sorry, that was on the 2 month we were looking at just now. The 2 month looked like it was dire but ready to turn around. The 1 month looks like it's ready to continue just sucking. Yeah, CleanSpark really needs Bitcoin. Really needs Bitcoin to charge up ahead. They need to stop diluting, and they just need the shorts to stop just hammering them down over and over and over again. All right, so that's that. Let's take a look at BitDigital. Go to the 1 week. BitDigital. How's BitDigital doing this week? BitDigital failed the flat top triangle tremendously. This is usually a bullish formation, and it failed it just with all kinds of drama. So that's done now. That's done. That's over. We failed. We came up to this line here and almost tapped it and failed. This is looking like a bear flag. And if it is a bear flag, again, just like with CleanSpark, if that is a bear flag, this is the pole. We come down to here and it's going off my chart. So let's go ahead and boom. That takes us down to $1.32 on BitDigital. If BitDigital cannot get a bid, if BitDigital falls any lower than $3.08, basically $3, any lower than $3, BitDigital is going to collapse. That's that. That's just how it is. And that is unfortunate. It needs to crack this orange line, this dotted line I've got here. It's got to crack that. But we just lost this white line right here. So I'm on the verge of cutting BitDigital. I'm actually very much on the verge of absolutely just cutting this trade and saying sayonara to BitDigital until it's either trading for sub $2 or gets back above the 200-week moving average at 370, at which point I will consider, and that is a hard consider, getting back in. In fact, I'm going to do a video after this about BitDigital and why I think I might end up cutting this trade, because it is not performing. It is not showing me any reason to continue to hold it right now, and it's not getting any of the valuation that it should be getting given what it holds and what it does. And there's some threats that are becoming real at this point, and they need to be addressed. So we're going to talk about that, but not in this video. I'm going to make another video today about that. Okay. On the monthly, this is disgusting. On the monthly, we're beneath the 50 month moving average at 388. We got a hammer at the bottom of the move though. So we came down and we got a hammer candle down here. So like BitDigital does not like being under $3 right now. But we did just print on this month that just closed. We printed a red dot on the BX trender, which generally is indicating that there are many more months ahead of red bad action. We could find ourselves coming all the way back down to $2. Okay, make no mistake. This spring, if BitDigital does not get back up and start showing green candles very soon, I'm talking like first week of February, maybe first 2 days of the second week of February. If it can't do that, then this thing could come all the way back down to $2. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in its own video. Anyways, we're moving on right now. So that's bad. That looks bad. Bitfarms, you know my opinion about Bitfarms. I brought that up yesterday. It had a bear flag just like BitDigital, just like CleanSpark, and it broke it to the downside. If next week opens up, 148 or lower, it's going to continue down. And that's all there is to it on Bitfarms. We're beneath all the things that we need to be above. This right here, this cloud here is red. We'll turn off drawing so you can see it. This cloud is red, which is generally a trade to the downside. That's a 10 moving average beneath the 100-day moving average. That sucks. You see when it crosses up, things are great and go up big. And when we come over here and when it crosses down, yeah, things get bad. So that's what we're looking at right now, potentially on Bitfarms. Now, this could turn around. All it takes is Bitcoin to charge up and above $110,000 and hold. And these things will see some benefit, especially since they hold Bitcoin. But if you cannot see that, if that does not happen, these are going to continue to bleed off, and that's just how it is. Let's talk a bit about 1 month chart on this thing. The 1 month chart is atrocious as well. We're just in this sloping downward move here. In fact, this might look a bit like, let me see here. Yeah, it's the channel. It's coming to the channel. So we're in a channel. It could come to the bottom of this channel down here, which would be under $1 for Bitfarms. This just doesn't look good. It looks bad, especially they're selling. So they are lowering their hash rate by selling their Paraguay site to Hive in the final bull run year. That is bad. Okay, they are decreasing their position, decreasing their operation in the last year of the Bitcoin blow off top, meaning they will likely not participate in it unless they get significant changes to what they are doing in their company. Like, let's say they somehow found a way to make a heck of a lot more hash, or they decided to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, or AI ends up exploding again for companies with data centers in the United States. We'll talk about that in the Bit Digital video. That's a very important thing, a very important point to discuss. And that is that, basically. Without that, Bitfarms is not looking good at all. Let's take a look at Mara. Now, Mara probably looks bad, but I have a little more faith in Mara right now. And the reason I have a little more faith in Mara right now is because they're doing the MicroStrategy method, where they are using convertible notes and they're buying Bitcoin. Now, I know that that sounds like it really shouldn't have a huge effect on Mara, but I think that it will. I mean, if you look at Mara, yes, it's at the bottom of its move, but it is holding there. It's not going much lower, much higher. It's kind of holding here while others are failing to go any higher. They are bleeding off. They are just suffering, and they're below, they're either making bear flags or falling below those bear flags. This one's making a megaphone pattern, which could be bullish or bearish. Okay, we're still in that megaphone. We are above the 200-week moving average on Mara, which is not something I can say about its peers. Okay, we are below the 50-week moving average at 1890, but we are above the 200-week moving average, which is very important here on this chart. Now, when we get back above this yellow line, we might just fly here. We did break this downward trend, which means we are going sideways. As long as we stay above the 200-week moving average, which means as long as we're above 1720 on Mara, I'm feeling better about Mara than the other miners right now. Okay, that's just kind of what I'm seeing on this right now. I could see it if it holds that, and if it can get above the 50-week moving average, I'll really be happy with Mara. It's also green on this cloud, and it looks like that cloud might be looking to go a little bit bigger. Not quite yet. When this cloud starts widening, yeah, I'll be really feeling good about Mara. Okay, let's take a look at the monthly here for Mara. Let's see how that shook out. The monthly for Mara. So you can see the monthly here. Whew, man, has this ever been green? No. Hasn't even been around long enough to be green. The closest it ever got to being green was November 2021. So yeah, I wouldn't expect it now, but it's actually not too bad. If we were to shoot up, that could go green. That would be pretty cool. Anyways, so we're just going to ignore that for now. But we got the 50-month moving average. We are holding up above the 50-month moving average. Another thing I can't say about it, it's peers. Take a look at CleanSpark did it. CleanSpark is below it. Bit Digital is below it. Bitfarms is below it. Okay. Yeah, they're above the 50-month moving average. That's actually a good place for them to be, and they've been relatively holding above it since January of this year. So Mara's actually been holding up significantly stronger than its peers, and it also did a bit of a doji, which could also be seen as an inverted hammer here at the bottom of the move, much like it did back here in October before having a bumper November. So are we potentially coming into a nice February? Well, that will depend on Bitcoin, but it's not too bad. You can see we are above the zero line on the MACD for Mara. Mara isn't printing a red dot on the BX trender either, and in fact the BX trender is kind of closer to the bottom of its move, where if it turns green, I'd be feeling pretty good. We are above the 20 on the stochastic oscillators, and the slow is green, the fast is pink and widening, but if it turns back to yellow, yeah, Mara's going to do very, very well. So I'm watching Mara. And I think Mara has some more to it than some of the other miners right now. Let's take a look at Riot. How's Riot doing? Riot is below the 200-week moving average, but above the 50-week moving average, so that's not too bad. It's actually looking, so Riot is doing a move where it's coming up, and it's doing a bit of a bear flag. Now, it's an ugly one. It's an ugly bull flag. It's an ugly bull flag, but this is the only one doing a bull flag versus a bear flag or a megaphone pattern at the bottom of the move. It's actually near the middle of the move. Riot is actually looking strong compared to its peers, okay? It's looking strong compared to its peers. Riot is looking good. On the weekly, I don't hate it. It's actually green on the cloud. It's above the 50-week moving average. It's teetering on the 200-week moving average. I don't hate it. The MACD is above the zero line. The stochastics are pointing the right way. Riot actually looks like it might be able to do something nice here soon. We are beneath the 50-month moving average, though. That sucks. If I turn off the drawings here, below the 50-month. Has this one ever been green? Has this one ever been green on that cloud? Nope. No, it has not. Wow, that's brutal. Okay, anyways. For Riot, yeah, I really don't see it doing a whole heck of a lot. Like maybe returning to the highs in the 20s, potentially getting into this resistance zone in here with like a potential high of like $38. But like it's not looking terrible. It does need to get above the 50 month. Once it's above the 50 month, I'll be feeling pretty good about it. But remember, when it does get above the 50 month, sometimes it gets huge red candles immediately after. So if you see a month close up there, it might be prudent to consider selling Riot versus holding it for the next month. We did get a cross up on the month. We got a green dot on the monthly on the BX trender. The stochastics are pointing green and yellow on Riot. Riot looks good. Okay, Riot looks good, which is something I hate saying, but it looks good. It looks good. I may even take a position in Riot for potentially a move up to like 18 or even $23. But I don't know if I will because I'm doing other things. So we'll talk about that. Iren. How are you looking on the weekly, my friend? Not great. So it's holding above the 50-week moving average. It hasn't even been around long enough to get a 200-week moving average. So that's, kind of not great. We are above the zero line on the MACD, but we did get a cross down this week. So what I'm going to do is, and if I don't already have it, So what I'm going to do is two things. One, this red line, this yellow line, we broke it. That sucks. This now looks like a bear flag. If we cannot break up and above 11.29 next week, I may be letting go of my Iren because I am not going to be holding this thing all the way back down to $6. You better believe I'm not going to be holding this thing down to $6. Now we did break this downtrend, this aggressive downtrend, but we have another one that we're looking at. Okay, we have another downtrend that we're looking at. Let me bring this in right here. I'm using my touchscreen today, like that. All right. Let me get in here, make it a little nicer. There it is. Okay, that one. This line right here, let's make this line a little thicker here. Let's make this like 4 points. Okay, we got to get above that line. That is now the line in our way. This one is done. We're done with that line. We crossed it, okay? This line we also crossed, which sucks, and that means that we could be coming down lower. We could be going down lower because of that. Now, we are also teetering right on the red line down here. This red line, that is for this, basically this bear flag. If we go beneath that, we're going all the way back down to the bottom of the range. The bottom of the range is $6-7. Okay, so Iren is in threat of potentially dropping off dramatically. Now, I think that earnings for them are actually going to be positive. I'm pretty confident that Iren is going to have positive earnings. We know that they're mining Bitcoin for something like $40,000 a Bitcoin, while they are selling every single Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been averaging over $90,000 for the month. So they probably will come out profitable. That probably will be a big double-digit up day for Iren, and I think I may consider taking some profit off the top there, unless Bitcoin is really showing strength and that it can do better. But right now things don't look great. On the weekly, let's go look at the monthly. That is gross. Oh, geez. On the monthly, look at that wick on top. So we had a big wick on top last month and then a big wick on top this month. That is really bad and disgusting. I hate that. We don't even have the clouds here. None of this stuff is showing up. That's how young this chart is. I really hate everything about this. Yeah, this thing could come all the way back down to support at $7. So yeah, if they don't have good earnings, I'm done. If they don't have good earnings, I'm done with Iren. And that's just how it is. So I'm going to be watching that earnings. If they don't have good earnings and they drop off from it, and I end up at like $9, I'm cutting it, and I'll just take my 10% of profit versus my 100% of profit that I did have at one point, and just move it somewhere else, somewhere in a faster car. Let's take a look at Corz. Corz, oh boy, look at this. Corz finally came down to my white line. So if you've been waiting for Corz to come down, this was your opportunity. That was your opportunity to grab on Corz. Now Corz really hasn't been around long enough for even a weekly to look like anything. So let's go to 2 days maybe. 2 days, not much. Corz, I really need to do the daily. They don't have enough. So yeah, it hit the 200-day and bounced. That's good. So the next time Corz is above the 50-day moving average, yeah, I'd be looking at it to come back to the highs. Okay, that is awesome. So Corz came all the way down to my line, hit it, bounced off of it. Now it's got to get above the 50-day moving average at 1433. It does that, and I'm going to be very, very confident in Corz making a move up again off of that. So that's pretty exciting, actually. I don't dislike that at all. Let's go back to the weekly. Since this is the weekly and monthly closes, we got on the weekly, look at that wick on the bottom. That is actually a bullish wick. I like that. We really need to see what next week brings in, but if next week gives us any bullish action at all, I think I might be looking at Corz to go back up to 17, maybe even $18. Okay, let's go look at the monthly, see how the monthly looks. Those usually give away some stuff. So we had a doji on the monthly. So next month, honestly, our range would be basically the similar range. We could come up as high as like 18, but we could go as low as 1034, depending on what Bitcoin does, depending on what gets tweeted out of the White House, because that tanked us on Friday. That really sucked. We were doing really good, and then at the end of the day, we got some tweets that came through and just tanked the market at the end of the day. That really sucked. All right, so that's Corz. Corz came down to a very, very attractive area here. They got punished largely due to their AI exposure, and how that shakes out will depend, will dictate what happens to Corz going forward. Let's go look at Wulf. Wulf is right at the 50-week moving average, under the 200-week moving average. It is still following this descending wedge here. And it's just, yeah, it's gonna be in that kind of holding pattern until it does that. It had a megaphone, so it had a megaphone pattern very much like Mara, so let's go draw that real quick. I had this one here and then this one here. So I had a megaphone very much like Mara, but it is coming all the way down to touch the bottom. Now, will it come back up and touch the top of the megaphone? I don't know. We'll see. It's got 2 touches on top, 2 touches on bottom now. If it gets a 3rd touch on top and breaks it, then it's going higher. But if it gets another touch on the bottom before touching the top, well, you better believe it's going to come all the way back down in between these 2 white lines down here, which is between 330 and 275 on Wulf. Let's go look at the monthly. I'm sorry, this video is all gloom and doom right now. It's not great. The monthly, also, we got 2 really bad months. I think we may not be done with 422 level here, like the 422 level. On Wulf, I don't think we're done with that quite yet. We did break this red line here. We broke this aggressive up line here, so that's done. We broke this other line here as well. So we broke that line. We broke this line now. The next line down is down here, all the way down near this white line around 330. So Wulf is not looking great. We hit the 200-month moving average, and then we crashed beneath the 50-month moving average. That's also really bad. So Wulf's not looking so good. We really need Bitcoin to do some very amazing things right now. Otherwise, we are in some trouble on the miners here. So we really need to see Bitcoin make a move up. We really need to see that reserve come through. We really need to see Bitcoin make a move and hold that move. Hut actually doesn't look too bad on the weekly. Hut didn't even break. It's above the 200 and the 50 week. So this is actually one of the stronger looking charts up there with Riot. We got a nice long wick on bottom on Hut. Hut actually looks like it could make a move higher from here. Now we do need to break this white line up here, and we do need to stay above this one here, but we are making something of a pennant right now between this the solid white line and the dotted white line right now. And that pennants can break either way, but the way it's looking right now, it might want to make that move up and go higher, especially if we go up above $30. Hut is gonna make that look like a bull flag, which could take it as high as like 45.50. Let's go ahead and just confirm that real quick with a quick measurement of that. Let's go about right there. Yeah, about $45 is where the top of that bull flag would be if that ends up being what it is. So Hut, along with Riot, is looking pretty strong. Let's take a look at Cifr. Oh, wait, monthly on Hut, Let's take a look at the monthly. What's the monthly looking like on Hut? Actually really gross. All these monthly candles look really bad. They all look like top candles right now. They're all looking like top candles. Every single one of them. Like, look at this. It looks like this candle here on August 22nd, August 22, which led to a downturn. It looks like this candle here, July 2023, that's led to a downturn. It looks like this candle here in July 2024, which led to a downturn. I do not like this monthly candle. That is the big betrayer right now, is these monthly candles. They're all looking really gross. All right, let's go look at Cifr. How's Cifr doing? Ooh, Cifr actually looks good. We got a nice long wick on bottom, but we said nay to this bear flag right here and went right all the way back up to the top. So if we get an open and close above this here, oh yeah, we're going back to up to the top of the range there on Cifr, which is $7 some odd. So Cifr is actually looking strong as well. Let's go look at the monthly for Cifr, and it's above the 250 week moving averages, so that's also really good for Cifr. Cifr got a 50-month moving average just right there, the little tiny line there, and we are above it. Yeah, I think Cifr is continuing to work on these train tracks up, and I think the next stop for Cifr is around 725 right now before we turn back around one more time on Cifr to see if it comes back down. Okay, let's take a look at Hive real quick. Hive is actually, so Hive bought the sites in Paraguay from Bitfarm. So Hive, I'm telling you, I like Hive where it is. As long as Hive does not break beneath 290, 289, 290. So when Hive breaks above the 50-week moving average at 342, I'm in it for a move up to 455. That's what I'm thinking for Hive. I'm thinking Hive gets above that 342, that we're going to make a move up to 450. It may be higher, but not by much. And then I'd be jumping off around 455 bucks for Hive. I do like where Hive is right now. It's just scraping the bottom, and from the bottom, it tends to go up to about 455, maybe even $6. So Hive is actually in a really great spot if you are looking to take risk. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. I simply think that the downside risk is lower than the upside potential on Hive currently, especially once it gets back above the 50-week moving average. Let's take a look at the monthly. How's the monthly look? It doesn't look good. We'd have to see it do something positive here next month. Otherwise, Hive is still going to hang out scraping the bottom for a little while longer. Let's take a look at Slnh. Slnh is still in that descending wedge, still in this channel. Slnh is not looking great, but remember, this was the zero or hero play. This does look like a bear flag, and we broke to the bottom of that bear flag. If next week is also negative, Slnh is going down. Remember when I said, and I kept saying, this is zero or hero. This is a gamble position. It must be very, very, very small for my position, and this is also very, very, very small. I really had no hopes for it particularly, other than potentially a small pop, maybe to $9-10. If we don't get that, that's why I have my position very small, so it can go to zero and not impact my portfolio by almost any amount. I'm really not concerned about it. But yes, I have about 100 of these things, and I'm ready to watch them go to zero or up to, like, whatever high reaches it can get to. Let's take a look at the monthly on this one. The monthly on this one is a hammer at the bottom of the move. Hammer at the bottom of the move. Inverted hammer at the bottom of the move. I actually don't dislike that at all. This thing could make a move up. Honestly, just coming back up to the cloud there is $12 on this thing. So hammer at the bottom, inverted hammer at the bottom of the move. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I still think this thing could be a surprise, but it is a zero or hero gambling position. Okay, Slnh is a very, 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 very small position of mine. It's been getting compressed since January 2023. If it does a breakout, something like it did back here, if you remember, yeah, back here, look at this. It did a compression from September 08 until May 2020. So, like, it did a compression for 12 years before it broke out to the upside. So, and it was very short-lived. It did, like, 3 months of, like, kind of going up, and then 3 months of way up, and then it held for a couple of months and then came all the way back down again. So, Slnh, my biggest ambitions on this are, like, maybe going to the 50-month moving average at $58, and then if we're really crazy lucky, like Bitcoin hits $250,000, maybe we'll hit the 200-month, but that would be just like the most insane move ever. So it is a gamble, and I have nothing but losable money in this one. Money I don't care about, money that does not matter to me. That was the 2-month, not the 1 month. I really need to get my eyes checked for that one. Yeah, 1 month, same sort of scenario. It's just been getting compressed. Right. Let's move on to Can. We're going to look at the 1 week here for Can. All right, let's see here. Can. I don't like this move on Can. I don't like it one bit. Like, this went green, but it got real anemic real fast and came all the way back down. If Can cannot get up above $2.40, and I mean quickly, before it goes back down and tests beneath, that green line at 181. If it can't do that, then it's going to come back down to the support. Support's down at about $1.20 to $1. If it can get back above 240, then it could run back up to $3, which would be a 60-cent run. But honestly, I'm seeing a potential dollar risk for a 60-cent run. I don't like those odds. So personally, this is not for me. Right now where it is. Can went up a whole lot, and hopefully you took profit if you bought down at under $1. Hopefully you took profit at 330. If not, well then then I think you're in a bad position now, because look at that. We got that as a top candle. This one right here from December 2024, that is a top candle followed by a doji, meaning it doesn't know where it wants to go from here. It's very comfortable being where it currently is, and it could break to the upside or the downside. So I have a potentially dollar downside risk for a 60% upside risk. I don't like it. So I'm not a fan of Can where it is right now. Let's take a look at BTDR. BTDR, actually not too bad. We got a hammer at the bottom of the move here. Not an inverted hammer, but a hammer at the bottom of the move all the same. If it can hold where it is, I feel pretty good about it. It is also doing a megaphone, very similar to what Mara was doing right here. This one's got a whole bunch of touches on the top and the bottom. Like, look at this thing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 4 touches on top. 1, 2, 3 touches on bottom. This thing can go either direction, so I actually don't like that too much. But it does look stronger than Can, at least. It's holding up in the upper range of that move. It doesn't look like it's ready to collapse or anything. Let's look at the monthly. The monthly is doing a bit of a doji. There's some tweezers up here. So basically, price next month needs to get back up and above 2151, or BTDR could come back down to test the bottom of this range down here at 1369, and that's about all there is to it. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.